Okay, there we go. Another guide. How to beat ultras in 2025. So for this guide, we're gonna go for what you need, enhancements, potions, and we're gonna see the ultra boss skills as well. So we can plan out things before fighting it. Starting off with potions. Okay, this is really important because I've been doing public ultras for a really long time and I've seen so many people that doesn't pot. Yeah, we need to have this. So I'm gonna show you the only thing you need, yeah, for potions because it's not really that complicated. If you look at my pots, yeah, it looks a lot, but you don't need all of them. Okay, you don't need to follow that path. So here's the storage. I prepared it. Bam. That's the only thing you need for everything. Okay, to make it simple, I made this list so you can see the combination of potions that you can use for physical, magical, and healers. But in some cases, we might need to replace Honor or Peli with Enrage, Vigil, Lifesteal, depending on the ultras. But normally, if you DPS, you can just follow this combination for your class, specific class. So physical, magical, and healer. If you do this, your class will improve drastically and it's gonna make your run much faster compared to those non-pat runs. Okay, so how do we get the potions? You can join here in Alchemy Academy and just prepare some gold. You can just buy 500k voucher and here you can choose the pots. But do not buy everything here because it's gonna be expensive. So if you want to buy something, just follow this list. But there's one thing that we need to craft. This one. You cannot buy unstable divine. So we have to craft them. To get that potion, we need to go lair and collect dragon scale and ice vapor. Once we get that, we can go back in Alchemy Academy and buy some dragon runes and join Alchemy. And then we click help please and use dragon runes 41 elixir and then we click healing power right here and look at this dragon scale and ice vapor. We begin to craft, we just click it once and let the dragon do his thing. And then the drop could be random, but we got higher chance of getting divine here. And that's the only way you get unstable divine, by crafting. And for the rest, you can just buy them for gold. Okay, next are scrolls. Okay, where do we get them? So we're going lifesteal. We need this for ultra Dage. So you join Arcan Grove for it. And go here and meet Rins. And then you can buy lifesteal from here. So it's pretty cheap. Okay, next is Vigil. This is not really for weeklies, but you really need this for like Cthulhu Depths or Grim Challenge. Here's the shop. Go merge shop. You use this when you see resist. You cannot resist. Because if you don't click it, you're just gonna die. And then next one is Scroll Up Enrage. This is your main taunt. So you join Spellcraft for Enrage. And you need Zealous Ink. How do you get Zealous Ink? You get Spell Ink here. And buy. To get Mystic Parchment, you need to kill these monsters. And then let's craft. The combination will be this one. That one. And then inscribe. And then we get enrage. Okay, so what enhancement do we need? So here we are in Forge. So if you're starting over, you don't have everything, right? Before you do ultras, you should get some of the enhancements here because sometimes you might get the DPS role and you might not do as much damage compared to those end gamers, right? I would suggest that you should get at least, let's say, Praxis. Also Smite. Smite is great for DPS as well. If your class deals a lot of damage with skill 5, then Smite will be the best pick for it. And if you spam skill 2, Praxis will be the way. So I think you can just get these two first before you start ultras. If you're not going to play DPS, you just want to support, it's important to have this enhancement like right away. Spiral Carb is good for DPS, but I think Forge is better. I guess Spiral Carb if you don't have Praxis or Smite yet. And then if you're gonna play support, you should have Blast all the time. Like let's say you're playing Lu or AP. Those are the classes that needed Blast the most because it supports the DPS user. And then Health Bomb, you need this for Ultra Dage because you get decayed and you cannot heal. So you need a life steal to survive. And then Mana Bomb, you don't really need Mana Bomb unless you really want mana recovery. I guess you can use that. And then Power Word Die is not worth to use there because there's gonna be damage cap anyway. So the only thing you need here is Blast and Health Bomb. And these quests are pretty easy. You can get them in like less than an hour. Okay, so for the helmet, I would recommend to get everything here before entering Ultras because you need some of the enhancements here for, let's say, Darkon. You need high healing there. So you need Anima for Stone Crusher. Or if you're playing DPS, you can use Numa just to be ready. I think it's convenient to have all of these enhancements. Okay, for the caves, you must have penitence at least. Most of the bosses hit so hard that you might need some defense. Yeah. And for Lament, I don't think you need this unless you're going to DPS in a room, let's say Darkon. But if you're just playing support, I think penitence is the way, or absolution, yeah, for healers. They are pretty easy. They don't require insignia. So before you go ultras, you must have them at least. Also, Bane Glory is nice to have. So yeah, until penitence, farm until penitence. Okay, we are here in ultras now. So we're gonna start off with champion Drakath. Okay, so for the comps, I'm not giving you so much information because I don't want to overwhelm you with comps. So what I'm gonna do is just give you the idea of how the boss works, and you can just play around with the strats later on. Let's just go with the base for now. So Chaos Slam happens every time he loses 2 million HP. So you need to taunt this one because it hits 4 targets. So if you taunt this, it's gonna hit 1 target, which is the taunter, and it's gonna gain less increased damage. 1 target, he only gains 50% of doing damage, and if he hits 4 target, it's gonna get 200% increased damage. Okay, so we are in phase 2 now, which means we did 10 million damage to him, and he's gonna transform. After that, every 2 million he received, he's gonna do a nuke again, similar to the first one, but it's gonna increase his damage and also dodge by 20%. And then 2 million, once he reaches 2 million, he's gonna charge for 20 seconds. And if you fail to kill him, he's gonna kill everyone and no one can survive it. So it's like DPS check, but his damage taken increased by 750% and reducing dodge by 750%. So you can kill him easily. I don't think you're going to fail here unless you don't pot, okay? You need to pot. So here's the comp that will work best in public room. So starting with Chaos Slayer. Not many people know that Chaos Slayer deals a lot of damage against Drakath. So I will bring it up now because no one seems to know. I did try Chaos Slayer in pubs and they were like confused. Why am I using it? Chaos Slayer with stacking damage and debuffs. Arch Paladin will do the taunting, the main taunt every 2 million, and it will decrease Drakath's dodge and do some healing. And then Lord of Order is just there to buff and some healing. And Stone Crusher is there for mana reduction, defense, and healing over time. So it's a pretty simple comp, and this is gonna work in pubs if you use it properly, without a doubt. Okay, now we are in Nulgath, and I'm gonna teach you how to beat Nulgath with new comps. So we're not gonna follow the old comp that we are currently using in publics. So it's gonna change today. But for now, let's look at their skills. So I'm gonna start off with the blade. So the blade will just auto attack while it's alive. And after 40 seconds, the blade will explode. So it's gonna say, I will shatter you to core. And the damage will be lethal. Instant death to everyone. So make sure you kill it or you kill Nulgath before 40 seconds. So that will be the strat for this boss. Killing the blade will increase Nulgath's outdoing damage and outdoing physical damage by 50% stacks indefinitely. So you don't want to kill it. Yeah. So let's look at Nulgath. So we got Abyssal Charge, 14 seconds cooldown. The message is Behold the Power of Abyss, and it's gonna charge for 4 seconds. This is important because after 4 seconds, it's gonna apply Contract right away, which we are going to be reading in a bit. And after the charge, it will do 500 damage, and damage is boosted by Essence Gathered. So if you don't kill the blade here, the damage of this skill will be trash. The next one is, he's gonna apply Contract of Frailty to all targets, reducing your defense by 50%. And then the next one will be Contract of Despair to all targets that have Contract of Frailty, reducing your dodge, crit chance by 75% and reducing your damage by 50%. And then if you have the Contract of Despair, it's gonna apply Contract of Stagnation to you, reducing your defense and physical defense by 100%, haste by 50%, and incoming healing by 80% for 10 seconds. Always hits. So this one, you need to taunt this alternately. So this is how you do it. We start the battle. Example, I'm T1. We T1, and then the 5-second countdown starts from here. And then that should be 5 seconds. We apply taunt. And then he applied Contract on us. And then the next one should be Behold. Yes. And the T2 comes in here and taunt it. And then we wait for 5 seconds again, just like the starting point. And we apply another taunt. So we get the first Contract again. So what's gonna happen is we alternate so we don't get the second debuff, which is Despair. So if we loop taunt, there's some chances that we stack the debuffs, and we don't want that to happen because the first Contract, you can get the second Contract and you won't lose the first Contract. So the strat should be Lu, LR, BDK, and high DPS. So we have to kill it in 35 seconds. That should be the speed for this comp. And we are completely ignoring the blade. What about loop taunt? Loop taunt still works, but it requires to kill the blade, and taking out the blade is gonna take, I don't know, a bit of time. Some Nulgath takes really long time to kill because they are focusing too much on the blade. So I don't really recommend that now because this strat is really good. You just need to count, to time it, just pot. Yeah, it won't hurt that much to pot. That will be the guide. I won't suggest the old comp anymore. We need some change. The next boss is Ultra Dage. Let's look at his skills. So auto attack, it will apply knocks to all targets, reducing defense by 15% for 11 seconds, stacking infinitely. And then the next one is Cloak of Darkness to itself, increasing defense by 10% for 11 seconds, stacking infinitely. When you start attacking him, he's gonna apply knocks to you, and he's gonna gain defense for himself, making him really tanky. To counter that, we need to reduce his hit chance. So I'm gonna apply Shadow Blade. As you can see, he's missing now, and he's not applying those buffs anymore. Next skill, Decaying Strike, applies Noxious Decay to all targets, inverting all direct healing and HOTS for 11 seconds. So when we attack Dage, he's gonna put Decaying Strike on us. If you try and heal, it's gonna turn into damage instead. To counter that, you just simply need to have Scroll of Lifesteal and Health Bomb as a weapon. The next skill is Summon Brute Undead. This is a charge attack. After charging, it will deal 4,800 damage as true damage, and it only does 20% damage if you're standing in the protected zone. So when you see the platform glows, immediately run inside the platform. The next skill is Summon Legion Mages. The text will say, I possess the full power of the Legion at my disposal. Charges for 10 seconds. Applies Might of the Legion to itself, increasing crit chance by 30%, damage by 100%, and hit chance by 130% for 120 seconds. Also applies Legionnaire to itself, an enormous hut for 14 seconds. So this is the time we need Decay, because without Decay, he's gonna heal too much. And then after 10 seconds, he's gonna apply Energy Blast, dealing 3,654 damage to 4 targets. When you apply a taunt skill, it will only hit one target. Applies blood price to itself, decreasing defense by 30% for 20 seconds, stacking infinitely. Note, when Dage kills a player, he recovers 500,000 HP, accompanied by the message, another soul to empower the Legion. So the comp will look like this. Arch Paladin with 30% reduced hit rate and some defense to your team. And Chaos Avenger is there to self-loop with Scroll Up and Rage and Flux. Because if we have Taunter there, like self-taunt, Dage will only hit one target. And then Cab also reduce hit chance by 30%. And then we have Berus Doomlight for decay and debuffs. If you don't have Legion Doomlight yet and you wanna beat Dage, you can use Infinite Darkcaster for decay as well. Or if you have Legion Doomlight, that's great as well. And then Lu just there to buff. And then the next comp is Classic Ninja with Dauntless. And Ninja will reduce Dage hit rate by 100%, making him not gain any defense at all. Just bring 3 DPS or just 2. I think 2 is the minimum here. You can just bring 1 Lu if they don't have Dauntless. This is time limit because you don't want to reach disposal part, which is the nuke. So make sure you kill Dage before that. Okay, next one is King Drago. This one is gonna be easy. Okay, let's start with King Drago. So when you enter the room, Drago will laugh and you have 160 seconds to defeat him. And if you fail to kill him after 160 seconds, he's gonna kill everyone. Similar to Drakath. Okay, note, King Drago cannot be damaged unless both Bowmaster Algae and Executioner Dean are defeated. Next enemy is Algae. So the auto attack will reduce all outdoing damage by 5% for 4 seconds, stack indefinitely. Applies damage increase to self, increasing all outdoing damage by 1% for each player hits, stack indefinitely. So you need to taunt this. The next skill is Triple Shot. Applies bleeding to the target, a dot that lasts 20 seconds, ignore focus. So this one you cannot taunt. The next one is Dean. Dean has a similar skill. Applies Shatter to the target, increasing all incoming damage and incoming physical damage by 5% for 4 seconds, stack indefinitely. Applies defense to self, reducing incoming damage by 1% for each player hit, stacks indefinitely. So again, this one you need to taunt it so it doesn't gain so much defense. And then the next one is Execution, and it will deal 1076 damage. It will hit 4 targets and it will ignore focus. Note, if Bowmaster Algae dies, Dean fully heals and gain ally boost, which increases outdoing damage and outdoing physical damage by 100% and reduce all incoming damage by 50% indefinitely. The same goes with Algae. So the strat here will be Chaos Avenger or King's Echo as a main taunt and DPS. They can reach Algae without any problem, so they can handle the taunting there and do the damage at the same time, because the plan here is to kill Algae first and then kill the Axe next. Because if we kill Axe first, the AP and Lu will struggle to reach the boss. So we need to kill the Algae first. Arch Paladin is there to taunt the Axe, which is Dean, and provide defense. And then Legion Revenant can taunt. It's optional. If the DPS is not Cab or King's Echo, or they don't have taunt in general, you can make LR as a taunter. But make sure you use high DPS with medium range. And then Lord of Order is just there to buff. The next boss is Darkon. For Darkon, I'm not gonna read everything. I'm gonna make this shorter because Darkon got so many passives. So we're just gonna focus on the main thing we need to learn from here. So auto attack, it will reduce the player's dodge by 500%. So you cannot dodge anything here. The next skill is the Cycle's End, increasing his incoming physical and magical damage by 10%. So Darkon will lose defense every 30 seconds. The next skill is End of the World. This skill will occur after 4 minutes and 30 seconds have passed. Charge for 3 seconds. And it will deal 100 million damage as true damage, and you cannot survive this one. Now we are in phase 1. The first skill is Overture. His auto attack will reduce the player's hit chance by 50%. Special skill number 1, Darkon will gain additional 100% critical damage. But if you kept receiving this skill, it will increase Darkon's critical damage by 50,000%. So this one is pretty much RNG because it will hit one of the 4 targets. Special 2, while Overture is active, applies Elegy of Madness to the player. If Elegy of Madness is active, applies captive audience, a stun per 4 seconds. So when you receive Elegy of Madness, you don't get stunned. But if you receive it one more time, you get stunned for 4 seconds. So you need to be taunting here, so the DPS doesn't get stunned. Now we are in phase 2. So when you see the text prepare for the next act, the first skill, Recitative, removes all active auras from Overture on both Darkon and the player. And the auto attack will reduce haste by 6%, stack up to 22%. So you need to hit phase 3 as fast as you can so you don't lose every haste. The special one, it's the same skill again, 90% of your current HP, and it will increase Darkon's crit damage by 50%, stacks up to 22. Special 2 is while Recitative is active, apply Seed to the player for 8 seconds. If Seed Planted is active, applies Grown to the target, increasing their crit chance by 1000 but reducing their crit damage by 1000% for 8 seconds. If Grown is active, applies Harvested to the player, a fatal dot, always crits. So for this skill, you don't want the DPS to get this debuff, so Loop Taunting is the key to avoid the DPS from getting this debuff. Okay, now we are in phase 3. Aria, I'm not reading all of this, but all of healing output will be reduced by 80%. So if you're using Bane Glory here, the healing output will be converted into damage. And then for the phase 3 nuke, the strat here is apply Quicks on Darkon before he reset HP. So when Darkon reach 20% HP, he's gonna regen all of his HP and do all of the skills below. So you need to have Quicks to avoid dying, because if you don't have Quicks, as you can see, we all died. So make sure once Darkon reach 10 million, you stop using your Quicks as Lord of Order and save it for this moment. So apply it when Darkon reach 4.5 million. That's the mark. Special 1, it's the same thing again, 90% of your current HP every 12 seconds. And if Aria is active, it will apply Dot for 8 seconds. Special 2 is going to increase your mana cost by 25% for 12 seconds. So this one is not really a big deal if you're running Stone Crusher or Crossball Barbarian. Okay, speaking of classes, this is arguably the best comp in Darkon right now. So we got Crossball Barbarian with the highest HOT with 11k on phase 1 and 2.2k in phase 3, because Darkon will reduce your healing output by 80%. So Crossball Barbarian is really insane because you don't need to time heal. You just do one trick, which I'm going to show you after this. And then the next class is Legion Revenant and Lord of Order. They need to loop taunt together. And high DPS. Any high DPS, you can use anything here. High DPS requires to pot and Crossball Barbarian requires to pot. If you don't have Crossball, you can use Stone Crusher as a replacement, but Stone Crusher will do less hot compared to Crossball. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to do the maximum hot Crossball Barbarian. We're gonna try to spam burst because I want to use the numbers right here. So I get this aura. So when you see that aura, that means I use those numbers above. And when I get buffed by Lu, the numbers inflated, and I will remove that aura that I got like earlier and replace it with a new one and see what's gonna happen. Okay, let's stop. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna replace my aura, every aura I have. Okay, now we apply honor and then we buff again. Yeah, it's true. What the hell is this game, huh? The point is, if you're using a class that provides healing over time on the team, you must have all the buffs before you apply it. Because once you use that buff, you get an aura. That aura will use the stats like these numbers right here. And if you used it while you don't have those buffs, like blue buffs, that hot won't change until you change the aura, which is really strange. So this is how you do it. Wait for them to start the battle and then apply the buffs. You apply Valiance and then you start healing. So as you can see, we're doing the maximum hot we can do. Okay, now we are in speaker. I'm gonna teach you how the speaker works because some of the players doesn't know what actually speaker does. So I'm gonna show you the skills to give you an idea what is happening in this boss. The first skill is Shadow Flame Slash, applies Corruption and Sunburn to the target, decreasing their damage dealt and defense by 7% per stack, stacks infinitely, entering inside the zone or the equalize will remove Corruption and Sunburn stacks, and applies Mana Drought, reducing your intellect by 40%. So when you're fighting speaker, keep that in mind that you don't want to use a magical class because it will delete some of your stats.
It's fucking. It's fucking. Let's go! Well done. Yes, Jay.
So the best way to kill speaker is bring a high DPS physical damage or just bring Ravenous because Ravenous is really great. Next skill, Magia Draw. The message will say, I will make you see the truth, charge for 2 seconds, and it will apply Magia Burn to the target. If you have Magia Burn already, increasing your magic damage taken by 300%, stacks infinitely. So that is the message for that, and you will receive the Magia Burn. Next skill, Energy Draw. The message will say,
Listen, look, and listen, and learn.
charges for 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, it will apply Energy Burst, giving you stasis, stunning them for 6 seconds. So the listen is here, so you cannot move. Yeah, you cannot move here. You cannot skill too. The next skill is Power Split. A charge aura, the zone will glow, charges for 3 seconds, and it will increase damage dealt by 300%, dot resistance by 100%, defense by 75%, and dodge by 25% by itself. Also applies revitalization to self, recovering a large amount of health after 2 seconds. So this is where you need decay, because if you're not using decay, it's gonna heal by a lot, like crazy. To decay, you need to use skill 2 the moment the red zone appears. After charging, it will apply Equalize, and here's the list that you need to know. If you have Magia Burn, it will apply Lethal Dot. If you have Stasis, which is the stun, it will apply another Lethal Dot to you. And if you have Sanctity, applies Lethal Dot again. Sanctity is when you take the zone, like earlier, and then you take it for the second time. So here, it will apply Sanctity for 45 seconds. So you need to wait 45 seconds until you take another Equalize. Note, when speaker kills a player, he gains 30% defense, and accompanied by the message, we move closer to wiping the slate clean. Also, here's his base stats. So this is how you beat speaker. Currently, when you're fighting speaker, there's a pattern, and we have to use a chart for it, and I will recommend using this chart because it's pretty easy, and King's Echo is really strong in speaker. So this is the best and easiest chart to do. I don't know, I might be lying if I say easiest, but once you get the hang of it, I think you can learn this in like a few hours. As you can see, the Lu and KE will taunt. KE will use the skill taunt, and Lu will use Enrage. Take some of the listen here and some truths. The others are LR and AP. AP will play as sub DPS, and it's gonna do a little damage with pots, and then LR is just there to decay. So that's your strat, and I'm gonna show you how it's done. If you wanna look at other strats, you can just search Ultra Speaker charts, and then you will see a lot of strategy to kill it. 2-man speaker with KE. Yeah, this thing can just take the burn. Now I think we can spam for a bit because we got Pelly on us. We can call the dragon. And then drop. And then call him. Oh yeah, I kinda like this. I kinda like the Pelly version, because I can go wild. Yeah, and then that's all. And then we have the dragon here, right? Yes, we do. Okay. And we don't care about this truth, so we just go do some damage. Call the dragon, so we get mana, and then drop the nuke, and then call the dragon again, drop the nuke, Not the Nook, the taunt, I mean. I keep saying Nook. It's a taunt. Okay. Wow. Okay, I like Pele. I think this is... Oh, 111. After that, we join Go Ultra Gramiel. Okay, quick warning before we do this Gramiel, you cannot use any decay that is like BDK, LR on Gramiel, because if you put decay on Gramiel, he's gonna get damage increase by 25% and it's gonna kill your entire team. So you can bring decay, but you cannot attack Gramiel using that decay. So that's only for phase 1. But after phase 1, when the crystal dies, then you can use your decay on Gramiel because yeah, he lose that ability. At first, you need 2 person here, like pair. Everyone needs to have the enrage, yeah? There's 4 guys, partners here for each crystal, and they're gonna do some taunting to the boss. But first, we need to learn what this thing do. If you attack it, it's gonna return 150 damage as dot to you. So you need some sort of self-healing hot, the class that can lifesteal. That's the strategy to it. Once in a while, it's gonna shatter your defense. There's gonna be a message like shattering attack. So you can see that. And that's when the T1, T2 comes in. Before you enter this room, they're gonna discuss about it. Who taunts first, who taunts the second, yeah? If you're T1, you do it first. And then if you're T2, you do it next time. Because next time, after that message, that shattering message will pop up again. And you need to taunt it as T2. So you're the second guy who taunts it. So what happens if you taunt it on T1 and you taunt it again? Yeah, you die. The T2 is over. Everyone is good. Everyone did well. They got the taunt. So Gramiel here, he's going to drain your power and you need to break his guard. If you don't attack him, he's going to reduce everyone's haste and hit chance by 70% and increasing his outdoing damage by 30% for each player hit. To break his guard, you need to attack him and make sure he receive 1 damage. And then after that, you go back to crystals and you're gonna do the same again until the crystal dies. Before we kill the crystal, there's one thing we need to know, which is we need to kill the crystals at the same time because there's gonna be explosion. After the Grace crystal die, Gramiel here will charge. So 5 seconds, he's gonna do something. You don't do anything there really because he's just going to charge. And then after that, he's gonna do some basic attacks. So he's gonna hit your team, yeah, hit. And that's when the taunting comes in. You're gonna take turns by taunting it because you need the shield. Okay, what is the shield? There's HP threshold here, which is 5.2 million, 3 million, and 750k. As a DPS, you don't want to hit that threshold very quickly because everyone needs that shield. You need to make sure that everyone taunts so they get the shield. Okay, after that, you need to wait for the liberation message to pop up. So that thing pops up and that's the time you attack and hit that first threshold, which is 5.2M. What's gonna happen after that is going to say death door and it's gonna nuke someone. But since you have the shield, he's not gonna kill someone because you receive like 0 damage. After that first nuke, you just do the same. And the next threshold will be 3 million. Okay, for Gramiel strat, we need to have a little chart here for a guide with auto attack timing. This one might require animation because you're just starting over, right? You need to learn. By the way, only one person need to learn all of this because he's gonna conduct everything like orchestra. So he's gonna call the classes. You don't need to do the class order. You can just pick who goes first. So it's up to you. If you don't want to play animation because it's laggy, I'm gonna put auto attack timing here. So this is the order. After charging for 5 seconds, Gramiel will apply Scorching Light right away. After that, Gramiel will auto attack every 2.25 seconds. For each class, they need to receive 2 auto attacks. That is 5 seconds per player and 10 seconds in total. And then after 10 seconds, it's gonna apply Scorching Light. That is gonna be 2 seconds delay. because it has animation. And then after that, you go back with the auto attack taunting. So again, 2 auto attack per player. The total time is 10 seconds. And then after that, Searching Light will happen again and it will apply Liberator. When Liberator happens, you need to trigger the threshold for Death Door. So the cycle will repeat 3 times because you need to hit 5.2 million, 3 million, and 750k. So this is the strat if you don't want to play with animations. Also, one more thing, you can actually replace Stone Crusher with Frostball because Frostball will provide the same thing like mana reduction and hot. Frostball is AoE, so it's gonna be much faster in phase 1. So if you have Frostball, just replace Stone Crusher. I think it won't be a problem. This is how the battle will go in real time. Going?
Sure.
Okay, this time.
This is it.
Don't
I
kill
can
me.
feel
I
it.
hope.
Hopefully.
If I'm right, yeah.
50-50.
50-50.
Because yeah, I called after the second animation. The second auto. So the moment you taunt, it was the third already. Yeah. Oh, to attack. Nice.
We good.
I don't know mana. Man. Okay, that's my name. Break.
To the cup.
Nice.
Shoot need help? Nah. Crystal balance. Okay, we good, Jude.
Dude, chill.
Chill, Jude. We good.
Oh, I should taunt this.
Shit, I still should taunt, man.
We good.
Okay. Shaman. Blue. SC. Fuck, I hope this is good.
So good so far.
LR.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I got it. We good.
Everyone have to. But
I
sit
do
down.
damage.
Jubilator. Indigo.
Shaman. Blue. C.
See?
LR.
We good.
Nice. Cook
And
got
I-
one, but we good.
You got one. Only one.
Cook one, I'm
Yep.
3. Yeah, but still we could
Still
survive.
good. Okay. SH. Blue. C. Oh, what's that? LR. Okay.
Nice, perfect. Everyone got 2.
Honestly, I'm not looking at the fucking animation. I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah.
I'm
Really
looking where I
honest.
type, bro. But yeah, that was good. Okay, now I know now. Thank you for watching. I hope the guide helped you. Let me know if you gain an insignia. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.